They say democracy dies not with a bang, but with a whisper, a quiet shifting of norms, a gradual erosion of trust, a slow forgetting of who we are. In America, the story of democracy is one of promises made, broken, and remade again. It's the tale of a fragile experiment born in fire, tested by war, hardened by struggle, and challenged every single day. To understand where American democracy stands today, we must look into the mirror of its past, listen to the voices of its people, and reckon with the cracks beneath its surface. Because what stands today is not just a government, it's a question, it's a fight, it's a hope flickering in the dark, daring to survive. The United States was not born as a full democracy. When the founders gathered in Philadelphia in 1787, they wrote a constitution that enshrined liberty but excluded many from its definition. Women couldn't vote. Enslaved people were counted as 3/5 of a person. The Senate was not elected directly by the people. The president would be chosen by an electoral college. The people had a voice, but not a loud one. What was created was not a perfect union, but a blueprint, with the understanding that it would grow and change as the nation did. And it did, but only through struggle. Democracy in America grew by demand, not design. It was forced forward by abolitionists, suffragettes, laborers, and civil rights activists. By those who marched, bled, and died for their voices to be heard. The 15th Amendment in 1870 granted black men the right to vote on paper. The 19th Amendment in 1920 extended the right to women after decades of protest. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 sought to dismantle the barriers of Jim Crow barriers built precisely to silence democracy. And yet, every step forward was met with resistance. Every expansion of power to the people was followed by an effort to take it back. Democracy in America has always lived in tension with itself, with power, with inequality. It is not just about ballots and elections, it's about trust, and trust is fragile. The events of the 21st century have shaken that trust to its core. After the contested 2000 presidential election, in which George W. Bush won the presidency despite losing the popular vote, many began to question whether the system truly reflected the will of the people. The Electoral College, once seen as a relic, was now a point of national debate. Could a democracy where the minority of voters could choose the leader be considered truly democratic? Then came 9/11s. The attacks shattered the national psyche and gave rise to a new era of surveillance, secrecy, and executive power. Under the banner of security, the government expanded its reach into the lives of its citizens. The Patriot Act, warrantless wiretaps, secret watch list tools meant to protect, but often used without transparency or accountability. Trust was strained, yet again. And then came the wars in Iraq. Afghanistan launched in the name of democracy itself. Trillions spent, thousands of lives lost, and in the end, questions left unanswered. Was democracy something to be exported with bombs, or something to be nurtured at home? As the years passed, American democracy became increasingly polarized, not just between parties but between realities. Cable news became tribal. Social media turned opinions into weapons. Gerrymandering carved up districts into safe zones, killing competition. Campaigns were flooded with dark money, unleashed by court decisions like Citizens United. Billionaires gained influence, while everyday citizens felt further removed. The voice of the people was drowned in the noise of special interests. Elections became battles not just of ideas, but of legitimacy. In 2016, Donald Trump was elected president again, despite losing the popular vote. His victory shocked the system. To some, it was a triumph of populism. To others, a warning bell for democracy. His presidency challenged norms attacking the media, questioning the courts, refusing oversight, and spreading falsehoods. For 4 years, American democracy held, but it shook. And then came 2020, a global pandemic, racial unrest, economic collapse, and an election unlike any before. Americans voted in record numbers by mail, early, distanced, and when the votes were counted, Joe Biden was declared the winner. But that wasn't the end of the story. Trump refused to concede. He claimed fraud without evidence. He pushed lawsuits, all rejected. He summoned supporters, and on the 6th of January, 2021, they stormed the Capitol. It was a moment that will forever mark American history. The Confederate flag was carried through the halls of Congress. Elected officials hid beneath chairs. The vice president was targeted. Democracy did not fall that day, but it came closer than it had in generations. And yet, the response was divided. Some saw it as an insurrection, others as patriotism. The truth fractured. Accountability stalled. What does it mean when a nation cannot agree on reality? When facts are no longer shared and truth becomes a matter of opinion? It means democracy is in danger not from tanks or tyrants, but from within, from apathy, from misinformation, from division so deep it erodes the very idea of a shared future. And yet, despite all this, democracy endures. It endures in every voter who stands in line for hours to cast a ballot, in every organizer who registers new voices, in every journalist who risks backlash to tell the truth, in every protester who marches for justice, in every citizen who believes this system, flawed as it is still worth fighting for. But endurance is not the same as strength. Today, American democracy stands at a crossroads. Voting rights are under attack in multiple states through new ID laws, purged rolls, closed polling places. Independent redistricting commissions are being dismantled. The Supreme Court has grown increasingly political in perception. Disinformation spreads faster than facts. Political violence is no longer unthinkable, it is a possibility many now expect. Faith in institutions is collapsing. Trust in media, in Congress, in elections themselves is near historic lows. Some Americans believe the system is rigged. Others believe it's broken. And many have simply stopped participating at all. But this is not a story without hope, because democracy is not a machine, it's a living thing. It depends on us. It reflects us. And it can be saved by us. There are movements everywhere fighting to restore faith, to expand access, to protect the process. People working to make voting easier, not harder, to make elections fairer, not more manipulated, to demand ethics, transparency, and accountability from those in power, to make democracy not just a word we repeat, but a promise we keep. American democracy does not need to be perfect to be powerful. It just needs to be honest and open and resilient. The work ahead is not easy. It will require confronting hard truths about our history, about race, about inequality. It will mean repairing systems that have failed, removing corruption that has been normalized, rebuilding trust that has been shattered. But if we succeed, if we hold fast to the idea that all people are created equal, that every voice matters, and that government must serve the people, not the powerful, then democracy in America can still thrive. It won't happen in a single election or a single presidency. It will happen in town halls and school boards, in protests and petitions, in journalism and justice. It will happen when we choose it again and again. Because democracy is not a gift. It's a choice, a decision we make every day, to care, to participate, to believe that change is possible, and that we have a role to play in it. American democracy has survived civil war, world wars, assassinations, Watergate, and 9/11s. It has stumbled, it has bled, it has nearly fallen. But it has always gotten back up. And now, it needs us again. To listen more and shout less. To seek truth in a time of lies. To build bridges in a time of walls. Because the question is not whether democracy will survive. The question is whether we will fight for it. And if we do, we hold on to that flame, however dim, however fragilite, can still light the way forward. If this story made you reflect, inspired hope, or sparked a fire inside you, don't forget to like this video. Drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more deep, powerful stories about America's past, present, and future. Your voice matters, and together, we keep democracy alive.